ask me why, but I just feel the need to take a big steamy dump on this woke little liberal turd nugget named Dean Blundell. I just want you to understand the type of people in our country that liberals are easily fooled by. This guy has a full-time job rage-baiting conservatives into engaging with him. Well, today I'm gonna entertain this flamboyant, petulant, pansy-ass prick. I'm not the voice of reason in the conservative movement. I'm not an expert commentator who will get interviews with the likes of Pierre Poilievre, but I feel that many people are just too kind, especially toward fucktards like today's special invited guest. Like, comment, subscribe. So let's take a look at his profile for a second. He's a self-described Canadian muckraker, dog whisperer, no surprise there, and 5-time bird attack survivor. So wait, Dean, let me just back up a little bit here. Does whispering to dogs include the use of peanut butter while you whisper, "Good boy"? Let's take a look at some formal complaints that have been made against him to the Canadian Broadcast Standards Council. Toronto talk radio host in hot water over gay jokes. Whew. That's not the kind of headline you want to have as a sports commentator. Now, I know that some of these stories are outdated, but I think it's important to add some context into the true character of who Dean Blundell is. Blundell reads a news story about a 17-year-old student who was suffocated after he crawled into some wrestling mats to retrieve his lost shoe. Former co-host Todd Shapiro opined that maybe the student crawled into the mat on purpose because he was uncomfortable with some of the things he had done the last few weeks in practice. Blundell agreed. Yeah, like hooked a couple dudes. Not only is wrestling gay, it can kill you. Blundell invites his friend Jeff on for the now semi-frequent Gay Jeff segment, in which they discuss Jeff's failed relationship with a man who he paid to fly in from New York. Shapiro admonishes Jeff for not following up with the little man whore. They also demand to know how large Jeff's ex's penis is, then make vomit and gagging noises. The hosts came back from the break by discussing Raina, who supposedly works for the station, and voiced the opinion that men and women are equal. Why don't you go back to the oven and just bake us some muffins? Close your mouth, open your ears, and do your chores. The hosts read a news story. Blundell says he can't wait to share it because it's just too good, where 2 Mexican citizens were tied up from a bridge and disemboweled, supposedly by drug cartels. Blundell puts on a Mexican accent to say, "I told you something. Facebook is so gay. They're hanging people from the bridges in Mexico. Hey, guess who's not single? 'Cause they're dead. Status, disemboweled." You've received many complaints from people that you're now pandering to. I guess you got the woke liberal memo that the only way to avoid scrutiny and survive in this political atmosphere is to pander to Marxist extremists. What a shift from who you once were. You've spent countless hours making thousands of videos and podcasts that basically nobody ever listened to. Anyway, I don't need to critique your audience. It's not their fault that you have the IQ of a raisin. Let's take a look at some of your wonderful social media posts instead. How MAGA plus Maple MAGA turned a BC bird flu call into a full-blown culture war circus. What started as a health measure became an influencer carnival of grift. Tears and tents. They're all dead. I wrote about the ostrich bullshit, and it's bullshit. My latest for the slow maple magats in the back. And then he replied to this guy who said, "I tried ordering ostrich meat online, but they're out of stock today," which he replied, "I just ordered my ostrich burgers here. Delicious." He reposted an article from National News Watch where they said, RCMP investigating online threats against new Liberal MP Chris D'Entremont after floor crossing. Canada's Maple MAGA death cult, ladies and gents. Someone else posted, "Oh my god, appears the CFIA slaughtered the entire flock of healthy ostriches through the night. Dark day for Canada." To which Dean replied, "Whatever, they're meat. Delicious meat. They got sick because of Maple Maggot farm owners is bad at their job." Mike Lee said, "I'm still furious that they killed Charlie Kirk and then celebrated his murder, claiming it was morally justified, and then mocked him along with his grieving widow. Charlie Kirk was killed by one of your own. You're they, dipshit." The Maple MAGA Party of Canada is a party of betas, cucks, and pussies afraid of their own shadow. There's literally nothing these useless twats can do if their members cross the floor, other than whinge like the betas they all are. Dean. Why are you trying to act like Mr. Morality when you literally made fun of former Oilers prospect Christian Pels, who ended his own life in Latvia?
Edmonton Oilers prospect Christian Pels disappeared without a trace after reportedly jumping off a bridge in his native Latvia. Pels, who played 2 seasons with the Edmonton Oil Kings of the WHL, is believed to have jumped into the Daugava River near the capital city of Riga, Latvia. Early Tuesday morning, rescuers have seen no sign of him. How much must it suck playing hockey in Edmonton when you? Nah, I'm not going back. I mean, he'd rather jump off a bridge in like a war-torn country into a freezing cold river than go back to Edmonton. I've been to Edmonton. I know what that guy's talking about.
Wow, Dean, that's some really hard-hitting journalism, bro. So, since your hockey takes have never been taken seriously because you lack any credibility or knowledge of the sport, you decided to pivot to the crazy leftist influencer role? Well, that's only because if you go online and shout MAGA bad, every leftist cockroach will come out of the weeds and agree with you. Sports fans never liked you, but out-of-shape twats agree with you now. Glad that you understand and relate to the audience who's as brain dead as you are. And Dean, all you've managed to prove is that you're unsuccessful as a sports broadcaster, podcaster, and now social media personality. You're in the midst of a lawsuit with Canada Proud, though you've managed to raise a little over $5,400 to help you in this battle. Let's have a look at this GoFundMe where you're begging your followers for money. Dean Blundell versus Canada Proud's slap lawsuit. I've dedicated my career to uncovering the truth and holding those in power accountable. Today, I'm facing a legal battle that threatens not just my livelihood, life, and the very principles of free speech and honest journalism in Canada for all Canadians. Canada Proud, a right-wing third-party content creation lobby group organization known for spreading political content and misinformation for conservative parties and interests, has sued me and Crier Media for $200,000 in damages and monetary losses. This legal battle has dragged on, pushing Crier Media and myself to the brink of bankruptcy. The financial strain is overwhelming, and I stand to lose everything I've worked for. This case will set a precedent for how we deal with attempts to silence journalists and critics in Canada. I've always prided myself on being independent and self-reliant. Asking for help doesn't come easily to me, but the stakes are too high to go it alone. This isn't about saving my career or Crier Media. It's about standing up for the values we all hold dear as Canadians. Your support won't just be helping me. It will be a statement that we, as a society, won't be silenced by those who seek to manipulate public opinion for their own gain. How embarrassing is it for a man in his 50s to be sued by a social media page and you're so broke that you need a GoFundMe? It's honestly pathetic. You've spent decades building a career for yourself and you've been so unsuccessful that you've only amassed enough of a following where only 82 people are willing to have your back. You're lame, pathetic, know nothing about hockey, you're a failed journalist, and have nothing to look forward to in your future except loneliness and emptiness. I feel sorry for you, Dean. You believe that the words you speak are prophetic, but they're actually pathetic. I wanted to say some things that you'd be remembered for, but given your career and your antics, chances are you won't be remembered at all.